welcome to Earth is Waking Up. Today we've got a special guest, Allana Pratt, intimacy expert. She's a global media personality and go-to authority for those who have suffered heartbreak and are ready to live unapologetically and attract an open-hearted, ideal relationship. Her vulnerability and courage landed her a featured weekly column on the Good Men Project, featured as an icon of influence, and as a guest expert on Huffington Post, People Magazine, Forbes, CBS, and Fox, and the Jenny McCarthy Show. Guys kind of like that. This Ivy League.
She's hot, even to a woman. She's hot.
This Ivy League grad is the author of 4 books, has interviewed Whoopi Goldberg and Alanis Morissette, and hosts the edgy podcast Intimate Conversations, where listeners learn how to find the relationship they deserve. A certified coach with close to 5 million viewers on YouTube, Allana was asked by Lisa Gibbons to coach her during Dance with the Stars. While supporting nonprofits like Rise of the Butterfly to end human trafficking, Allana offers private and group coaching plus retreats so that her clients have a thriving, intimate relationship with themselves first, which naturally attracts and enhances their ideal partnerships. Welcome to the show, Allana.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. And I'm so glad you know who I am, or that you've been following me, or what have you. I'm glad that the work I've been doing has touched you enough to invite me here today to make a contribution. So thank you.
Yes, thank you. I gotta say first off that not everybody grabs my attention as well as you have. There's
Good. How'd I do it?
I think what has done it for me has been your open, authentic, vulnerable presence and passion, just embracing what has made a difference in your life, and your interest in helping others find that passion and tune in and tap into that power for themselves.
Thank you.
Thank you. I have loved reading your emails.
They're naughty or vulnerable or goofy, or I don't know, what are they to you? That's how it feels to me.
A whole blend. I love it. One of the reasons I love them so much is because I grew up with it not being safe to be that open and vulnerable and naughty, because it was bad. Right?
Sure.
And as the more I grow and the more I heal up those traumas around what's good, bad, right, wrong, all that garbage.
Yeah.
That I feel like I'm able to step more and more into my authentic and vulnerability and be more empowered to be myself and to make a difference in the world by supporting others become more of their authentic selves. And I feel that your work is powerful on that.
Thank you. Thank you. My work is really my spiritual practice. Yeah. It's a job. I mean, and it's challenging, and I need to learn how to be a businesswoman. I just got off the phone with a lawyer who's going to help me start up a nonprofit and learn how to be a good businesswoman, learn how to do it right. So there's areas where I'm very wobbly, very uncertain, but very driven to make a bigger impact and to work smart, not hard as I do it. So I've made a lot of mistakes. But what's happened in doing all of this intimacy work with myself, and the way I sort of, it's not like if you operated on my heart and you opened it up, there'd be a little stick figure, a little Allana in there. It's not like that. But energetically, or like visually, I really see a little Allana inside my heart who's like, oh, I want to start a nonprofit. Who should we call? Maybe we'll fail. Maybe we're not good enough. Like, I have all those thoughts and feelings inside of me. Or maybe it's in the realm of sexuality. A little Allana who's not like 5, but maybe like 13, dorky, braces, like wore rugby pants. Like, I was such a nerd, and all the guys like the other girls, not me. Like, she's still inside there going, but nobody thinks you're sexy and you're not allowed. Like, all of that still lives inside me. It's just I have a totally different relationship with my doubt, fear, insecurity, shame than I used to. Back in the day before, if those feelings came up, I would push them down. I would live from the chin up, fake, and then seek approval, seek attention, seek. And once I got it, gotta hold on to it. So I would lie, withhold truth, say yes when I meant no, all of these behaviors so you don't leave me, which would then flush up more feelings of guilt and shame. And then, I had pushed those down. And it was just like this horrible cycle in the wrong direction. And when I started to go, okay, stop. And I learned how to go back inside to these feelings that they came up and learn how to sit, like literally feels like it's sitting in fire. Feels like I'm burning in discomfort. It feels like I'm going to die. Like when I first started, it was so much energy, so much emotion. But I learned different tools, techniques. I learned how to integrate. I learned how to process. I learned how to heal everything coming up. So that first it was like a tsunami of everything I had suppressed for decades. So in the beginning, it was the toughest. But now when a feeling of insecurity comes up, it's so much easier. And I just imagine putting my hand around little Allana, giving her a little kiss, saying, hey, you have every right to feel this way. I got you. It's okay. Like I can just be with discomfort in a way that I've never been able to be with discomfort before. And then it integrates, it processes it, it moves through. And then I come back to presence or grace where I have choice. And I know on a scientific level, I'm such a geek. I was just down at the Heart Math conference in Mexico, hanging out with like Roland McCready, like the head scientist. And I'm like geeking out and asking all these things that I know intuitively work. What's the science? What's actually happening in my body? What's actually happening in my field that you can measure? What's happening in the field around me that you can measure? And what's happening when I do these processes is my coherence, my heart rate variability. Heart rate variability actually goes down, but my vibration rises. I'm a higher vibrating being. You can measure it. I'm more coherent. They have these little monitors you can put on your ear and measure. Do you have one of those?
Yeah.
You do? Yeah.
Yeah,
you can measure how in harmony you are with yourself. And we're taught that when we have appreciation, that this coherence goes up. And normally we only want to appreciate the good shit, when we do it right, when we look good, but what if we could appreciate our shame, our insecurity just as much? Then all of life becomes appreciation of the lesson, of the challenge, of the obstacle just as much as the accomplishment or the achievement. Nothing goes unappreciated, but not as a thought. A lot of people just, I think I'll cognitively analyze this and I'll appreciate it. No, you can't think your way into coherence. Right. And they've measured that as well. You can only feel your way there. So you've got to get good at feeling. Yeah. And again, you can't just get good at feeling one emotion and not another, right? So you've got to be able to feel it all, receive it all. And that's been the path of so much more freedom for me and my clients and community. So it's been
learning to feel first, and then also to pay attention, be able to decipher those feelings and be aware and be able to communicate them, work through them, feel, and notice how it shifts our life and how we can use that as a tool, not to let it take over our lives, but as another sense to navigate through in a great way, right?
You said something there that I just want to go a little deeper and unpack because it's very important. I used to be my feelings. I was a drama queen. Yeah. So when a feeling came up, first I would just push it down and just be fake. Okay, so then the next phase was, here's the feeling. And I would over dramatize. I would become the feeling and it would have its way with me. And then I got to a place where I'm like, who's the one that's feeling? Who's the one that's eating? Who's the one that's sleeping? Who's the one that's making love? So I'm like, if I know who that is, then I must not be my feelings. I must have them. Yeah. I must not be my body. I must have a body. I must not be my thoughts. I'm a loser, says the thought. Yeah. I must have a thought that says and I'm like, who's that one? And then that's when I really started to have direct experiences with my true nature, whether that was through a plant medicine journey, illumination intensive, days and days and days of meditation, Vipassana, like all the different ways one can come home and have a direct experience. I know who I am. this limitless being, not like a cognitive analysis of it, but a true embodied experience of the one who's having the emotion. And when you can witness the emotion, but still be with it, then it can transform, because you can't create or destroy energy. You can only transform it. So if you've got the pain and the shame, the insecurity, the fear, you're not going to get rid of it. What you resist persists. So you've got to be able to take the ride. You got to get on that surfboard and ride the wave through to the integration of it from pain into, let's say, strength, or shame into allowance or compassion, or, you know, so sadness.
Leaning into that challenge, right?
Yeah.
And how can people get excited and maybe learn how to lean more into the challenges when they come up, instead of getting mad or fearing or resisting?
Well, I wouldn't say I get excited. That's a little strong, because if I'm feeling really scared, I'm not going to go, yay, I'm so excited that I'm scared. It's like, that's a little too much of a jump, but I can go first into allowance. And then allowance seems to be the path. And I always do this when I do allowance, because when I'm not in allowance, I'm in resistance, and I generally have shut my heart down. So if I can be in allowance and literally choose to open my heart, that's another way of saying, like, lean in. And I like to swear. Can I swear sometimes? If I swear, it's fine. Okay. So like, I don't like this motherfucker, or I don't prefer this jerk or whatever, right? Like, but I'm not going to give away my power by shutting down. I'm going to stay in my power, in my awareness, in my intuition. And what you got for me? It's almost like a bring it, dare ya kind of badass kind of, because it takes for me courage. Not strength, courage from the heart, la cour, right? Courage from an open heart to bravely be with this. And if you get a little sassy or you swear a bit or whatever, like, I find that gets the energy to be with the most intense part of it. And then there's various different processes. You've done work in access, so have I. I've done accelerated evolution. I've done equilibration. I've done all sorts of different certifications and trainings on how does one lean in and process this energy into a higher state that isn't just an analysis of it, but an integrated embodiment of the lesson that trauma meant to give you all along. It wasn't, you never did anything wrong. It's not against you. It's there to be like pressure against the piece of coal turns you into the diamond. The emotional trigger, charge, trauma is this to turn you into a being of strength, compassion, freedom, a being who's free. Yeah.
Right. So the reason I'd asked about the leaning into it and getting excited about it is because I feel like the more I work with entrepreneurs, the more I find that they get excited about those challenges.
Good. I guess they're more enlightened than me. It takes me a little bit first till I get excited, and it's the word excited that is where the disconnect is. In the past, I was very addicted to excited, and then I got depressed, and then excited and depressed. And there's a new nuance from the challenge, being an allowance, integrating the emotion. It's more of an enthusiasm or a sustainable joy that isn't based on the outcome, the accomplishment, the achievement. It's internal, and nobody can take it away. I used to be addicted to, he likes me. They signed up with me for coaching. Hi, I'm so excited. Oh, and then I would, they didn't sign up for coaching. Oh, he doesn't want to date me, depressed. And it was a roller coaster. Yeah. For decades.
Right.
But when you get off the roller coaster and you start integrating all these energetics, all these emotions, you are enthusiastic. But you're enthusiastic whether that takes you 20 years or 20 minutes to accomplish. You don't care. It's the journey you're turned on by. Does that make sense?
For sure. Yeah. Cool. Because you learn how to shift that external approval to internal, and where it doesn't go away. It's always there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you learn to just enjoy the journey. No matter.
Yes. That is the name of my corporation. Celebrate the process.
Oh, nice.
It's not celebrate the goal. It's celebrate the process.
So you sound pretty wise and enlightened, I'd say, compared to
I am.
a lot of people.
You're sweet. I'm a work in progress, just like everybody is, but
Perfect.
the work works. Yeah.
So you keep learning, it sounds like.
I never not have a coach. Like I always have a coach. Like right now I have 3 coaches, and I would call this new lawyer that I'm hiring for my nonprofit a 4th coach, because he's teaching me how to run a business better. I'm always learning. I'm always humbled. I'm always willing to be brave. How could I ask somebody to work with me and let me hold them and for them to surrender if I wasn't simultaneously going through that exact same fire that they're going through, having to surrender? I feel that's out of integrity and unfair. And I'm always a student. I will always be a student. And I'm quite masterful at what I've learned. But I don't know it all. And in fact, the more I learn I don't know. It's actually kind of the opposite. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know it all. I've learned the same thing. The more I learn, the more I realize how much I don't know, and
yeah,
more humble I feel.
Yeah, I am certainly. Humility, I think, is very underrated. I think we have maybe a definition, or people think that that's a sign of weakness, being humble. No, I think it's a sign of strength.
Exactly.
To really own what I don't know, or to own when I made a mistake, or to, own when I need to clean something up. I think I have a lot of respect for people that can do that. Not so much when people justify and make excuses and blame. I don't have so much respect for that, or for myself when I used to do that. I respect myself a lot more now, where I can own when I mess up.
Yeah. I've definitely been working on that myself, shifting from that, and I keep finding deeper and deeper layers of that victim or codependent mentality, that mindset where it's always some external reason why I'm experiencing what I'm experiencing.
Yeah, it's always them.
Right?
Yeah, and it is a lot more fun, I guess, on some level, to blame everybody else. Or maybe not fun, but easier.
Yeah.
But to really own, oh my God, like one of the biggest times that this really hit me in the face is one of my coaches, who I still work with. We had taken like this 10-year break. I had worked with him, and then he just got this hit. He's like, I don't know why, I just can't get you off my mind. And I'm like, because my life sucks and it's really awful and I can't get rid of this. Like, it was like I was in the height of the custody battle that went on for like 12 years.
Yeah. And I'm glad it's finally done, by the way.
It is finally done, but I've taken the high road, and I'm letting my son live with his dad, even though I have legal and physical custody. It's more peaceful if I just let him 100% win. And I'm like a peripheral, live outside where my son lives and visit him from time to time. We talk on the phone all the time. We talk on Zoom all the time. But I've had to take the high road to create peace. So anyways, that's that situation. But back when it was not that situation, I was still in it, trying to make it work, trying to do this, and I'd let go of the fighting of the battle, but there was still drama and daily drama. So my ex did something, and I won't say what he did, but suffice it to say that I called him a lying, conniving fuckhead. That's what I said about him. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Like when things get very quiet energetically, I'm like, he's up to something. And then it generally does something. Yeah. So he did something. And my coach said, oh, great. Where are you, a lying, conniving fuckhead? Excuse me? Oh, that would be nowhere. I am perfect, holier than thou, always take the high road. I'm the spiritual one. And he's like, what about according to his point of view? Maybe not according to your point of view. Yeah. What about according to his point of view? Where are you? And I was like, oh my God, it just hit me. Jeremy, it just hit me. I married him, and within a year, I divorced him. That's just the facts. But from his point of view, I humiliated him. I promised I would marry him. I broke my word. I lied. And I was conniving about it according to his point of view, because when I got married to him, in all honesty, my mom was dying, and I didn't want to feel that. I just wanted a man and a baby to fix it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of conniving.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not as, horrifically evil, but according to his point of view, he felt used to save me and have a baby. Not that I was deeply in love with him, right? So that would be a lying, conniving. And then, well, fuckhead, just to say it, fuckhead, right? Because he felt so humiliated going around town where everybody was like, she left you. everywhere, grocery store, the bar, the gym, everywhere. He had to face everybody knowing that I left him. And so from his point of view, from a wounded, closed heart, right? Not an open, courageous heart, as we were speaking about. If your heart is closed, where the only place to go is here.
Yeah.
And this is where fear lives, and anger and blame and justification and revenge and all this. So it makes sense, not that I condoned the behavior that made me call him a lying, kind of fucking. I still think that was like fucked up, but I could have compassion. I could have compassion for his behavior. And all of a sudden the charge left. The charge left. And I could forgive him. And I could forgive me that didn't marry for the highest reasons. I married for insecure reasons.
Yeah.
Right? I could forgive me, I could forgive him, and I could just forgive the whole thing. And so the energy that keeps drama alive is a resistance, right? So I'm resisting and it keeps the energy, it's stuck. But if I let go and I forgive, the energy is going to go someplace else.
Yeah.
And so isn't it interesting that after that awareness and doing the integration work about that the court stopped. He hasn't taken me to court in 3 years.
Wow.
But there wasn't a year where he wouldn't come up with another reason to take me to court. Over and over. Police officers would knock on the door year after year.
Because you were still resisting that, and because you weren't willing to see his reality as it was.
I was defending my point of view, and I was right.
Yeah.
And it's not okay to take a child away from his mother. That's not okay.
Yeah.
And you are wrong. That is a lie, what you said. That is incorrect, Your Honor. That is not what happened. Like I was just justifying. And he was just like, yep, hook, line, and sinker. Down she goes.
Yeah.
He knew exactly how to poke. I
and
mean,
the egos just love to battle, don't they? And
my ego was cloaked in being a good mother, and I'm going to fight for my son, and I'm going to fight for justice, and I'm going to fight for the truth, but I was fighting.
Yeah, completely justified.
Well, and I was, and my son didn't want me to go away. So what am I going to say to when he was little, obviously, oh yeah, never mind, I won't be your mom, bye. Like, what was I going to say that? No. It really took until my son was 13. So we've been in this for 12 years. It took my son saying, he turned against me for a period of time. Dad's right. You're an idiot. You're crazy. I'm living with him. Don't call me. It was just like, I lost my house. I lost my savings. I'm in $250,000 of debt, but at least my son loves me. No, he doesn't. There's nothing left. But that was what I needed, Jeremy. That's what I needed. Because I was still outside in. I was still, my son loves me. I was still hooked. And that was like nothing left. So I went into the middle of nowhere, got a cabin in the middle of nowhere. And I was like, okay, this is it. There's nowhere left to go but Allana. And then all of that inner work of like, if my son never calls me again, I love and accept myself.
Wow.
If all the people opt out of my sight in my world because they think I'm this fraud because I can't keep my own relationship with my ex or even my son, and here I am thinking I'm a relationship coach. I look like if everybody leaves me and I have to go work at Starbucks, I love and accept myself.
Yeah.
If no man ever wants to love me because I'm so fucked up because of all these things that happened and blah, I love and accept myself. Not as an affirmation, another sprinkle on top of the ice cream cone of shit. No, like as a real, I mean it, embodied, integrated, like deep in there, in every cell of my being. And no, that didn't happen overnight. That took my coaching, my coaches helping me really get to that place. But once I got there, it was so quiet inside, Jeremy. So quiet inside. It was self-love, probably for the first time. Unconditional love, love without condition, love if I'm this, and this. I love and accept myself. And then, lo and behold, it was about 6 months later of doing this work. Who called? My son.
Mama.
Mom, I didn't want to hurt you. I'm very sorry. But this was the only way to create peace. I knew it. It was my only way to protect you from Dad. And it was the only way I could create peace for me. Please forgive me. At this point, he's 14.
And so you didn't prompt this, it just came.
No, he just called. He just called and said
I
that 6
love
months
how
later.
energy healing works that way, where you clear yourself, and then all of a sudden the external shows up in the way that you wish.
A 14-year-old Buddha boy telling me that he understood what actually needed to be done and created. And he goes, and I don't want you to come back because we need dad to win in order to have peace. Please. And so I'm like, okay. So for years we saw each other secretly. We just said nothing. And I would we'd go shopping, we'd go for facials, we'd go for hamburgers, but I'd pick him up at the bottom of the street. And he wouldn't say anything to his dad, and his dad had peace. And I had to be okay with taking the high road, looking bad, not having time that I could never make back with my boy, and trusting that this is right. It's okay. And I had a lot of rebuilding to do. I had a lot of debt to pay off. I had a lot of cleaning up, of my emotions. I had a lot of, growth to do. So I just kept asking what's right about this was all of that. And I took care of myself, and he watched me for 3 years. And I used to say to his dad did what? I would react he watched me not do that anymore. He watched me authentically care about the well-being of him and his dad. He watched me get out of debt. He watched me, thank you for giving me the experience of this divorce. Thank you for giving me the experience of this humiliation. Thank you for giving me, he watched me just be grateful for the whole thing and mean it and live it. And he watched what his dad did and didn't do about it all.
Yeah.
And how his dad did or didn't change in regard to his behavior. Yeah. And I just stayed out of it. And he was, 14, 15, 16. He's now going to be 17 next month. And he's so aware of who his dad is and who his dad isn't, who his mom is and who his mom isn't, from his own awareness.
Yeah.
And when those tough phone calls come, when he really needs somebody not judge him and ask him the right questions, he calls me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we're closer than ever.
Wow.
Yeah. And he'll say some crazy shit. And I'll be like, tell me more. Because I won't judge, but I have a couple things going on in here. But we get to the end of the conversation. He's like, Mom, you always ask me the best questions. You're always the voice of reason. You always bring me home to my truth. And I'm like, oh, thanks.
Wow.
Yeah, so he's doing really, really well. I'm so proud of him. Yeah.
Wow, way to go, Mom.
Thanks. It's been not easy at all, but it's so worth it. Oh my God, so worth it.
And way to go for realizing at a particular point in your marriage that it wasn't working, and that you were able and willing to shift and not just stick with it because that was the promise you'd made, but they were able to shift into the now. What needs to happen now?
Yeah.
And all the healing work you've done.
Yeah.
I think it shows through the improvements, through the conversations. I've seen it over the years. Because I saw some emails a long time ago, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this girl.
She's going through hell. Yeah.
But something I appreciate so much is that, I don't know, it seems like the more I've learned and grown, the more that I appreciate women, especially when they fully embrace their ability to feel their emotions. Because I've grown up with my emotions so stable that has become just so sexy to me. Just somebody that can really just feel his emotions, and a lot of them dance. They just feel it, and they have to move. And to me, that's just ooh, they're just in that.
Oh, I love it. Thank you.
And so to be able to grow as much as you have, and be able to solve some of those issues that come up for a lot of, I feel the issues that you've explained have been really common for people that are really emotional people. And that you have grown through a lot of that and learned to help and support and coach others. I think that's amazing. And what you just explained, kudos. I know to be the leader, we have to go through the fire ourselves.
Yeah.
We get to go through all of the learning, all the healing, all of the discovery around those challenges. Yeah. Otherwise, who are we to teach? Who are we to coach?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And so I would love to hear a little more. You've got a free offer and a free gift, and I would love to know um, how how you work with people on that. I guess, but first, what's coming in is more um, how the work you do is really important and supportive for people that are looking at, especially in midlife. It seems like midlife has this way of changing, transforming our life. Midlife crisis, right? Where we're our Saturn return, everything is happening that's
Mm.
causing us to really shift more into who am I and why the heck am I here anyways?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I've been working this career and it's not really serving me. I go to work all day, I come home and I go back to work, come home, go back to work, and I'm not really finding the satisfaction.
Yeah, well
And
said.
what I have learned is that there's certain pieces of our lives that really cause us to come alive, more fully alive and awakened.
Yeah.
And I feel like this, what I see in you has been what I've been desiring in a lot of my life, to really
Mm.
be more alive and
Mm.
passionate and just really fired up about what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm wondering what, if you could explain a little more of how your work supports others in that way and waking up.
Yeah, this is great. So basically, when we start to have this awareness that what I'm doing isn't turning me on, what is the point of all of this? When we slow down, if we slow down enough to go, well, I've always really wanted to write a book, or I've always really wanted to have sex this way, or I've always wanted to live in this part of the planet, or I've always wanted to dress this way, or whatever little, and they all are valid. These awarenesses come up about this is more me than what I've been doing. Right next to that thought, it almost cuts it off right away is, oh, but that won't work. Oh, but people will reject me. Oh, my wife will probably divorce me. Oh, my husband will think I'm crazy. Oh, I'll probably run out of money. Like there's just like an onslaught of excuses and fears that douse, burn out that little bit of flame of truth that begins to happen when this midlife truth awakening occurs. That is, and like we said at the beginning of the interview, that's all outside in. That's all looking for our safety and approval outside in. That's the awareness. Oh my God, I'm miswired.
Yeah.
All my decisions to live fully are not based on me, honoring me, having fun being me, alive as me. It's everybody, is everybody else out there.
Yeah.
So we've got to, we don't have to, but I recommend you, if we want to actually live this way, we've got to do the healing work. We've got to have this intimate relationship with ourselves, intimate relationship with the divine, intimate relationship with our body, intimate relationship with another who has our back to be ourself, not judges us, go back in the box, right? So this inner work, intimacy work, I believe is like the fundamental core building block of self-realization, self-awakening, and execution of living our purpose. Because if you can't sit in fires, if you can't be an allowance if people don't like you, if you can't be able to receive rejection and keep going to their rejection, you just keep going. Like if you can't keep that fuel in you as you through you going, and you're just trying to live from here up and do it right and look good, you're never going to make it.
Yeah.
And then they're going to kick dirt in your face. You're going to look back and you're going to have regrets.
It's
You're
gonna be
going
their
to,
fault.
right? So what there is to do as this awakening occurs is to own that there is a block. There is, maybe you can see exactly what it is, and maybe it's a blind spot, but there is something there because you know better, but you're not living it.
Yeah.
Handle it, handle the block, heal what's in the way so you can get wired properly from the inside out, not outside in, and start living your life. And have somebody there that'll have your back as you go through it, because it's going to start to shake things up. Not everybody's going to agree with you. Not everybody's going to like you. It's not going to go right on the first try. I'm going to have a new job and now I'm a millionaire. No, it's going to take some time. You're going to fall down a lot. You're going to have to get back up again. Who's there? Do you have a community that's going to be there? Do you have a coach that's going to be there? Do you have friends that are in the same, mindset, heart set as you? Because you're not going to make it if it's just you and those thoughts. No, it's not enough. The thoughts must be healed, integrated. All the limiting subconscious stuff that's running the show has to be healed. And then you will not only be living your dream, you will experience the joy and the deliciousness of living your dream, and you will be a leader and an inspiration just by being who you are. just by walking in the friggin' grocery store. Like my son and I the other day were in the grocery store, and I'm present, like most of the time, not all the time, I'm not perfect, but said, so how was your day going? And the guy looked at me, and he knows that I was actually paying attention. Like how many times you don't even look at the person, you just get your food and go.
Right.
I cared, like I care about people. So like, no, I really meant it. Like, how are you? He goes, my mom just died. And he's still checking the this and the food. And I go, oh, tell me more. And he did. And we just had this beautiful, intimate moment in the grocery store line. Everybody's busy and everybody's doing that. And we're just like, chewing right there.
Yeah.
And then we leave. And my son goes, Mom, why is it that everybody tells you everything?
Same here.
And I go, well, because I don't judge. I truly care. And that's a rarity in today's world. And that was a privilege for me to hold space for that soul. That was a contribution to me to be so deeply connected with someone just for a minute and a half, right?
Yeah.
I think that's worth it, to be that person that's not only living their dreams, making the money the way they want, having sex the way they want, traveling the world, but like, okay, that's all awesome. Just as important, okay? Like the bigger, flashier stuff, but the smaller, more minute things where you just change a person's day in the grocery store aisle. To me, it's the whole enchilada. This is the life you get to live when you make intimacy with self and do all your inner work a priority. All areas of your life, physical, mental, spiritual, vocational, financial, social, family, romantic, sexual, like all these areas, just like a lotus flower opening, improve when you're willing to go to the core.
Yes. When your heart is full, you can give and support others. And
it's not hard. It's just natural. You got to, get up every day and brush your teeth and do your thing, but it's not hard. Yeah.
I rarely quote anything scripture anymore these days, but it does say in there that seek first the kingdom within, and then all the riches of heaven will be bestowed upon you.
Well, there you go. I don't know the scripture, so thank you for
That's what I remembered when you were explaining that the healing and everything to really fill your heart so that you can be of service to all those around.
Yes. So beautifully said. And then bookending it with science, when we are coherent in our heart, when we've done this inner work and it's an actual vibration, we become aligned with the field. So the field is, I think it's 0.1, 0.01 hertzy giga. I don't know. Anyways, there's a number.
Yeah.
When we are that same number, we are aligned and we have access to non-local intuition. Yeah. We can hear the field, the feedback loop that's happening. Yeah. We can hear that small whisper of God. Yeah. Whichever way you want to say it, same. Okay. Yeah. So you're not alone. When you're in this place and you do your inner work and you ask a question, you will get an answer from your higher self or from the field. You're co-creating. That's when things get really delicious. When like magic and shit happens all the time and it becomes more of a way of life than not. Yeah. And it's humbling. Like, really, it can be this good? Yeah. So I have developed, literally today, Jeremy, it's such a cool day, is my new website is launched. So every about 5 years or so, I update my website. So the new website just got updated. There's probably a bunch of bugs, so please don't get upset, but we're still, working it all out. It just went live today. But anyways, on it is an intimacy blind spot assessment.
Oh, nice.
Totally free. And the way I've structured and created this is ask questions about your relationship with yourself, with life, with the divine, with the universe, with the field, and with another. So like there's 3 areas. Because to me, intimacy isn't just bow chicka bow bow. It's included, but it's so much more. Yeah. And so you will get feedback of where you are on the scale of intimacy. And there's no right answer. We all start where we start and we all grow and we never, in my opinion, get there. And there's a lot of information on how to enrich your intimate relationship with yourself and see the blind spot that's in the way of you moving into deeper relationship with yourself, others, or the universe, which is another way of saying having more fun, love, money, magic, great sex, all the rest of it is what that looks like in real life. So whatever's important to you, you apply to where you choose that intimate relationship. I just did a speech at BYEB, Hal Elrod's Best Year Ever Blueprint, like 500 people in the audience. They were a bunch of entrepreneurs. Yeah. But the block was money. The block was fear that the money's not going to be there. So does that mean they have an intimate relationship with money? No. So I took them through a beautiful 20-minute guided meditation, bringing them into oneness with money, because money's energy, money's conscious. People were crying. It was profound to really recognize how much they didn't like money. Where have you been lately? Right? And you want that money to come play with you, and you're being such an asshole to it. It's not going to happen. And do you really trust that the money is like the ocean waves? It comes in and it comes out. We don't worry about the waves. Oh my God, they might not come in. We would never worry about that, ever. But we worry all day long about the money. Well, what if? Same.
It's an energy. What if we were actually inviting it instead of resisting it not being there?
Or making it wrong when it wasn't. Thinking that means we're not held. Yes, we are. Right? And I've experienced when there's negative money in the bank account. When I didn't know it went negative. I didn't know your bank account, when you looked at it, it's always positive. It actually shows you how negative you are. It goes and I thought, well, I'm going to get hit by lightning. Something's horrible is going to happen. No, you just got to figure this shit out, Allana. You got to grow up. I'm like, okay. So, I mean, I've been there.
Gotta face it.
and I'm out of there, and I'm thriving. And the key is my worth didn't change. Right. And money didn't go anywhere. It was me and my relationship to it, my intimate relationship to it or not. So I really encourage people to go to my website, allanapratt.com. That's where that quiz is, that intimacy blind spot assessment quiz. Give yourself the gift through the lens of whatever the flavor of intimacy that you want to improve is, with another, with yourself, with your purpose, with your body, with your sexuality. Take it through those lenses, and let yourself grow and heal and evolve and integrate and have what you desire. Let me love you. Read my newsletter like you have, and watch my videos, and let's hang.
Yes. So you start with an assessment. That sounds like a great way. Anything, or do you want to talk any more about the next steps, or?
Oh, steps go on and on. So there's books, there's guided meditations, there is a home study program, Heart Splayed Wide Open, phenomenal program. There's group coaching. Every week I'm on the call with my people. There's private coaching, there's VIPs, immersion weekends, there's retreats. There's a lot of different ways to play. There's also my YouTube channel, my podcast. I do a lot. I do a lot for people. So lots of different ways to play if it resonates. I have an intimacy success advisor. Her name's Natalie. And right now, if you would like to work with me, you'll do a call with her and make sure that you're a fit, and she'll put you into the right program, and then we can work together. So lots of different avenues for me to love and serve you and bring you home.
Wonderful. And I love how you mentioned earlier how one of your coaches was such a fabulous mirror for you that helped you to see what you couldn't see on your own.
Totally. That's why
And I could tell that from the way you talk, what you've talked about, and knowing you over the years, that you offer an amazing mirror for those that you coach. You've got the experience to help them see what they might not be able to see on their own. I've learned as well, without a coach, we don't know what we don't know.
And that everybody that's really making a difference, in my opinion, has a coach. Everybody who's up to a bigger game. I on my own, alone with no coaches, could probably create some great results. But what I can create, having a spiritual coach, a business coach, a book coach, and now a nonprofit coach, right? I can now impact more people. Deeper roots, higher shoots. And I'm here to say, how deep, wide, broad, delicious can it get? Let's just be open to that. That's how I'm wired. And so I'm willing to always invest back into myself, back into my business, because I pay it forward. I get better results with my clients. I make a bigger impact. It's a win-win. So that's how I live.
Wow. Thank you so much, Allana. Any other final words? I mean, that's pretty amazing already.
Thank you. I could talk for hours. I would encourage people to have a little practice. Begin your day and end your day with just sort of putting your hand on your heart, or maybe your belly, or your yoni, or your balls, whatever turns you on was fine. Just put your hands on your beautiful body as a way of learning and practicing this intimate relationship, and just say, hey, sweet self, what have I not slowed down enough to hear you say? What do you want to let me know? And just practice this listening, this slowing down. The day, I'm a very driven woman. I got a lot going on. And I notice when I stop that slowing down and checking in, that I just even if I'm in a good mood, I'm just spinning. But if I balance it with the, hey, hi, that whisper that I haven't really heard begins to go, oh, you're willing to listen? Oh, and now I'm willing to talk. And you build this intimate relationship with yourself. We know so much. We just don't always slow down enough to hear or get the help to clear the blocks away so we can hear.
Man or woman. And you work with both, right?
I work with men, women, and a lot more couples these days. So that's been really delicious.
I'll bet.
Yeah. Either helping their marriages come back together or helping them consciously uncouple with ease and grace. Yeah.
That's seeming to be more and more common these days because it's not only about just making it work. Sometimes we've grown apart enough that trying to make that work doesn't fit anymore. And it's better to consciously uncouple. I love that Vishen Lakhiani from Mind Valley did that as well and in public. And same with Aubrey Marcus and some of the others. I love that it's becoming more common to be doing what works best and not just the old idea of making whatever is old, keeping that together.
Yeah,
that's not always the answer.
I agree. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, your insights, and your services, your coaching, everything that you do for humanity. I feel it's a huge gift because we're meant to be empowered and to own our hearts and our power and not to be playing by those old ways that we grew up with. We're in a new world and it's up to us to create this new paradigm.
Yes.
And having a coach makes a big difference.
Yes, it supports us for sure. Yeah. Thank you for all that you're doing. Putting on a summit is a lot of time, energy, resources, a lot of work. So thank you for what you're doing. And thank you for including me in it. I'm very grateful.
All right. Thanks so much. And thanks again to the listeners. We appreciate being able to put this together for you. And everybody that's looking to awaken and improve your lives, take it to the next level. Please feel free to reach out to Allana and improve. Take your life to the next level. Take care and much love.